Hey educators, is summer a season of rest for you or a chance to reset? Well, today we're diving into something a little different, but it's really important, your money. Welcome to this special episode on summertime financial fun. Simple ways to empower your finances, designed just for you. Teachers, you give so much every day. You're shaping lives and you're inspiring the future. But when it comes to your retirement, the path forward can feel uncertain. If you're an educator juggling demands of busy schedules and financial stress, you are not alone. Many teachers worry about outliving their savings, or managing their pension, or ensuring long-term care without burdening their family, with pensions often alone falling short. Many educators struggle to bridge the gap between what they need and what they have for a secure retirement. That's where Educator's Financial Foresight Weekly comes in. Each week, I'll guide you through clear, actionable steps to understand your pension and spot hidden gaps, build a retirement income strategy tailored to your needs, protect your savings from inflation and unexpected costs, and plan for long-term care and estate needs without burdening your loved ones. Your career has been about making a difference. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and LinkedIn. Let's build a retirement as rewarding as your career. Welcome to this week's episode of Educator's Financial Foresight, your step-by-step guide to financial peace of mind. I am your host, Debbie Major, former teacher and current financial planner, and I'm going to be your financial wellness coach for this summer break. Thanks for tuning in on LinkedIn and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you never miss a week. Well, the last 2 weeks we've been talking about Social Security, a little bit of an overview, a little bit about when to take it, is there a perfect age to take it, things like that. Well, today I want to kind of shift our focus a little bit. I'm in Ohio and summer is finally coming upon us. It's getting warmer outside. You see the sunshine. Everything is green. And it makes you just kind of want to think about, what can I do to reset? What can I do to relax? What can I do to set myself up for success for the future? So let's think for a minute. Can we take some time out of our summer break to become a season where you can make small, empowering financial wins without sacrificing your rest? So grab your lemonade and your notepad and let's turn summer into your season of smart, simple money moves. So here's the thing. Many educators tell me that they spend their summers trying to catch up, like on errands and lesson plannings, maybe a little rest, maybe running your kids around, all the kinds of things that they need to do over the summertime. But rarely do we kind of ask ourselves, am I in control of my financial future? Or am I avoiding it? Let me tell you about Lisa, a third grade teacher. She came to us last June, and she was overwhelmed. She had credit card debt. She was unclear on where her retirement stood and when she'd be ready for it. And she was avoiding her budget, like it was a pop quiz that she just didn't want to do. By the end of our summer sessions, she had a basic budget, a simple plan, and, most importantly, hope for the future. I've found that educators are natural planners, but when it comes to our financial lives, we often put ourselves last. This summer, let's flip that script. So, let's get into the fun part. Financial empowerment doesn't require, any kind of finance degree, just a few simple buckets. So I use a bucket analogy to help us see where our money is and how we need it. And we can kind of think about, if we were going to the beach, what are we going to pack up to go to the beach, right? And we'll think about that. So our first bucket, our first thing we're going to pack is called our now bucket, or our now money. Your sunscreen, your snacks, the money you need today and in the next year should be in that bucket. That's the bucket that's full. That's your emergency fund also. And that's your now bucket. So we take care of that first. But then there's an important bucket called our soon bucket, or our next bucket. And this would be things like your extra towel if you're going to the beach. You may not need it right now, but you may need it soon. You may need it in the next couple of years. In financial terms, if you're still working and you've got a long way off, it would maybe things like cash value life insurance, or your counting part of your 403b as part of your soon bucket, or regular investments that if you needed it sooner rather than later, you could take from it now. The third bucket is our later money. And this is usually what we're talking about, like when I'm talking about retirement planning and I talk about so much all of these things and what you're putting away for retirement. This is usually the later bucket. And this one we do think about as far as retirement goes, and a lot. And these are the things that, on our trip to the beach, we'd be like our umbrella for the shade. You want it when the sun is the hottest, even though it isn't the hottest when you get there, but you want it for down the road, and so that you're protected after you've been out there for a while. So it's like retirement. So your retirement monies are going to be in that later bucket. Like your 403b would for sure go there, your 457, 401k, Roth IRAs, anything that goes in that later bucket would be your retirement money. And then as you get closer to retirement and those retirement years, you're going to move money from one bucket to the next and move them over so that you can see, whatever becomes later is sooner or later going to become soon. And when you actually do retire, the pension and everything we talked about before becomes part of your now bucket. So I hope that helps give you a little bit of just of a picture of a way you can kind of think about things. So we can use summer to check. Are your buckets balanced? Is your now money running dry while your later money is untouched? What I find is a lot of people forget that middle bucket, and they think about, I've got my emergency fund, I've got everything right now, and I've got retirement, but I don't have anything like in that in between. Like what happens? Kids go to college. That's a good thing for the soon bucket. Or we want to get a new house and we need to have a deposit we want to make a deposit for the down payment. That's a good soon bucket goal to have in there. So it's good to think about all three, and it just kind of helps you segment things so you can see where do your goals align and where's the money to meet those goals. Where does it need to be? Do I need it now? Do I need it in the next 10 years? Or do I need it down the road as a later bucket? So we talked about the buckets, talked about the problem. So I want to give you some suggestions for some things you could actually do that would not be hard, that would be hopefully a little fun for the summer, to kind of take in aligned what's going on with your finances, and some simple things to do. So the first thing that I thought of was you could have what's called a budget picnic, right? So if you're not someone who keeps a line item budget or keeps track of things on an Excel sheet, you're more of someone who kind of wings it a little bit more. What this would be to do is to take out your blanket, grab your favorite drink, and open up your banking app. Our banking apps right now are so great that they'll even show you by categories where you're spending your money, how much money you're spending in each one, and then sometimes some banking apps will even compare that to what the average American will spend in that category. So you get kind of a benchmark to look at. This is a wonderful thing to do. I know that sometimes we tend to say, okay, I'm going to see what my balance is today. But, take a look and just take a few months to go back a few months. Does your spending differ in January than it does in May? Does it differ in September when maybe you're getting, or August when you're getting more school supplies and spending maybe some of that money for your classroom? Or does it not? Does it, maybe you do that in the winter time or in the spring because there's more field trips or things that you're doing. So it's a good thing to kind of sit there and just take a few minutes to relax while you're relaxing and look at your budget, look at what the banking app says you're spending your money on, and see how it goes. You could find money that you don't need to spend, like subscriptions. That's a big area where I see a lot of people, educators included, where we sign up for something, we think, oh, it's $5 a month or it's $9 a month, and we just let it go and we forget that we have it and we don't use it anymore. So always, go through your subscriptions and make sure that those are things that you really are actually using and want every month. If it's not in your banking app or you've got it charged to something else, if you've got an iPhone, I know you can go right into subscriptions and check. I know I'm always in there trying to see, well, which ones, when do they renew? And when do I need to pay it? And do I really want to? Because I tend to pay yearly. I don't like to pay monthly. I like to just pay one time in the year. So I keep track a little bit differently. But I know that's one area that's worth looking into to see. The second thing is, we're going to call this the 15-minute retirement timer. So what I'd like you to do here is set a timer for 15 minutes. Log in to your state teacher's retirement system website or your 403B website where it shows your 403B. Review who your beneficiaries are, your savings rate, or request a projection. Maybe figure out what your pension looks like now, what it may look like if your salary goes up, if it stays the same, if you work 10 more years, if you work 15, if you work 5. Kind of see what the difference is so you can get a feeling for, well, it's going up a few $100s here. Oh, this makes it go up $1,000. It's good to know where that is so you know where you start to feel comfortable with that. And you're same with your 403B. How much do you want to have it to have? And why do you want to have it at that amount when you go to retire? That's always a good thing. And then do you need to increase your contribution? And let me recommend beneficiaries one more time. Your 403B, your IRAs, your 401ks, they all need to have beneficiaries on there that are accurate. Oh, life insurance too, that are accurate. And every year you and your advisor should be going over and checking these beneficiaries and making sure that they're who you want on your accounts and with the appropriate percentage amounts or dollar amounts, and that their information is as current as you know it. So that's really important. And I know sometimes the years go by and we just forget or we just don't check them. All right, how about the third one? Now this is kind of like a movie money night. All right, or you could even do it in the afternoon. And here's what I suggest here is I've got a whole resource page that I've put together for you to help you become financially savvy and comfortable with what you're doing. And on that resource page is a series of masterclasses that are longer than like this 15-minute video that we do every week together. So the titles that we have on there is if you're looking toward retirement, there's one called Don't Worry, Retire Happy, which talks about getting a paycheck. If you're looking for something that's comprehensive, that tells you all about your finances and what to do from start to finish, there's a course called the Financial Accelerator. Then there's a legacy planning if you're looking toward that. And then there's the one the masterclass I made just for educators called Retirement Savings Challenges for Educators. All that requires is a sign up. They're at no cost. They are longer, so you will want to be able to take time to be able to watch them. But that's what they're there for. They're there for you, and I put them on there for you specifically so that you can feel empowered and empower yourself for your financial success. After you're done watching, how about talking with a friend or talking to your kids or talking to your spouse and say, well, what is one change I can make this year or make this summer so that next year is more successful than this year? And now it's time for me to share Rookie's quote of the week. For those of you who may be newer, Rookie is my dog, and he pretty much goes everywhere with me and sits by my feet as I work all day, or I take him for a walk, or we go out to the park. And he and I have a great synergy, and so I really figured I wanted to use him in the segments and into the show just to bring some light and encouragement for you from him, as he brings light and encouragement to me. So his quote this week is, "It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan." So why don't we use our energy this summer to plan, even just a little, and give our future selves a head start. All right, well, thanks for staying with me today. Let's wrap up real quickly. Don't look to do a financial overhaul because that's one huge, big task to do. Maybe break things up into small things you can do, like your movie night or your budget picnic, right? It's something you can do that's going to move you forward. Do intentional actions. Check your spending habits, right? Reconnect with your retirement plan and make money conversations part of your everyday life. If you want to get started, visit my resource page. We do have the free educator tools, the master classes. There's also calculators and other things there that you are welcome to use, and I put them there for you and would love you to use them and make it a resource for you. You can also, if you have a question, you can always DM me on LinkedIn. I will respond. Leave a comment at YouTube or LinkedIn. If you want a quick checklist, of what you want to do or want help prioritizing your buckets or setting up your buckets and what they might look like, I'm happy to help. I am here for you. And please make this summer count, not just for rest, but for financial confidence. And until next week, keep learning, keep planning, enjoy your summer with peace of mind. Have a great week.